Welcome to the 5th of August 10 minutes a day maths challenge. So let's get straight in with our fluency question. So it says simplify 9x plus 8x minus 4x. So let's start with the 9 plus 8, which equals 17. And then we're going to do 17 take away 4, which gives you 13. So that means our answer is 13x. Let's look at question 2. Simplify the ratio 9 to 6. Now remember, ratios, whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. Now we need to find a factor that goes into 9 and 6. The number that goes into 9 and 6 is 3. So we're going to divide each side by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. So our final answer is 3 to 2. And let's have a look at our fluency one. What is the area of a triangle with a base of 5 centimetres and a height of 8? So we've got a triangle, it's got a base of 5 centimetres and a height, we're going to assume it's the perpendicular height of 8 centimetres. Now the formula for a triangle is find the area is base times height divided by 2, or it's also written as a half base times height. Okay, so either one of those ways to explain it are the same. So I'm going to just do the top one. So 5 times 8 divided by 2, well 5 times 8 is 40 divided by 2, which is 20. Now remember, because it's area, it's going to be the inside of the shape, so it's squared. So your answer will be 20 centimetres squared. Okay, let's have a look at the problem solving one. So here are the ingredients to make 10 Nutella donuts. 200 grams of plain flour, 100 grams of Greek yogurt and 50 grams of Nutella. Ravi wants to make 30 donuts. He has 500 grams of plain flour. Does he have enough flour to make 30 donuts? You must show you're working out. So for this question, it's not a simple yes or no. It's yes, no, and your reasons why. So if we have a look, we've got flour, so 200 grams makes 10 donuts, okay, and he wants to make 30. So I'm going to use ratio. What do I times 10 by to get to 30? I times it by 3. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So 200 grams times 3 is 600 grams. So Ravi needs 600 grams of flour to make 30 donuts. So no, he does not have enough. And we can look at how many donuts he can make. Well, he can only make 25 donuts, okay? Because if we were to think about half of 200, that's 100. So he can only make 25 donuts. So he only has enough for 25 donuts. Now remember, in an exam, any questions where they say show you're working out, this counts as you're working out. It's really clear what you've done. You can add words like flour and donuts as well to show it as well, but your working out needs to be shown. And then a written example to explain why. Okay, so we had no. Okay. Mike, Natalie and Obi walk 120 miles for charity. They walk it in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. How many more miles did Obi walk than Mike? So with ratio, I always like to draw it out. So we've got Mike at the top, then we've got Natalie, and then we've got Obi, okay? And they walk it in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5, okay? So the first thing we have to do here is, if you remember step 1, add all the parts together. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we've got 12 parts, okay? Then we're going to divide the 120 miles divided by the 12 parts, okay? So 120 divided by 12 will give you 10. So that means each part is worth 10. So 10 miles. Now, I'm quite a visual learner, which is why I always enjoy visualizing it, writing it down so you can see. And step 3 is we need to work out how much each person did, so we're going to multiply. So here, obviously, we've got 3 times 10, which is 30, 3 times 4, which is 40, and 3 times 5, 10 times 5, which is 50. Okay, so all of those parts there together make 120. The question says, how many more miles did Obi walk than Mike? Well, Obi walked 50 and Mike walked 30. That means we're going to do a subtraction. The difference between 50 and 30 is 20. So the answer here is 20 miles. So Obi walked 20 miles more. Okay, let's have a look at this last one, past exam question. On the grid, it says draw the graph y equals 4x minus 1 for the values x minus 2 to positive 2. Now, I love these straight line graphs. Now, firstly, table of values looks like this. You've got your x at the top and your y at the bottom, okay? And it wants the values from minus 2 to 2. So we're going to put minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, and 2. And we're going to use this equation, y equals 4x minus 1, okay? Now, we're going to substitute x with the number in the table. Now, if you remember, a number next to a letter means multiply. So we're going to substitute x with minus 2. So that becomes y equals bracket 4 times minus 2 minus 1. So 4 times minus 2 is minus 8. So you've got y equals minus 8 minus 1, okay? Now, if we're minusing 1, we're actually getting colder. It's going down. So it's going to be y equals minus 9. So that first one is minus 9. Now let's have a look at the next one. We're going to do the same, except instead of substituting it with minus 2, we're going to substitute it with minus 1. So I'm going to write it next to it so you can see. Y equals 4x minus 1. So we're substituting the x with minus 1. So y equals bracket 4 times minus 1 minus 1. Well, 4 times minus 1 is minus 4. So then you've got minus 4 minus 1, which means y equals minus 5. Okay, so we can see we've got the first 2 points there. And we're going to keep going every time. Okay, so if we have a look at the next one, we're going to substitute x for 0. And then here we're going to substitute x for 1. So 4 times 0 is 0, minus 1 is minus 1. Here, 4 times 1 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay. And then we're going to do it for the last one, which is 2. So we're going to substitute x for 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. Okay. So we can see there we've got our table of values. Now, what these numbers now tell us are our coordinates. So our coordinates are minus 2, minus 9. We're going to plot that. So minus 2, which means when you're doing it, your first one is your x-axis, so you're along the corridor, and your second one is your y-axis, okay, so up or down. So we're going to have minus 2, minus 9, which is here. Then we've got minus 1, minus 5, so minus 1, minus 5. Then you've got 0, minus 1. Then you've got 1, 3. And then you've got 2, 7. Now, what this will form in a test, make sure you use a ruler and you're going straight through those points, is it will form a straight line. Okay, so we can see here, we've got our table of values. This is normally worth 2 marks in the test. And then the grid drawing it is worth another 2 marks. So altogether, it will be worth 4 marks. So, well done for today. Our next challenge tomorrow is a calculator challenge. So make sure you've got a calculator ready. If not, try to use an online calculator. I will recommend one at the start of tomorrow's lesson if you don't have one. See you tomorrow for our next 10 minutes a day maths challenge.